Hi guys, welcome back to my kitchen table and another one on my MOCs. And today I'm proud to present to you my take on an Imperial UCS Sentinel class shuttle, which is a MOC that I've been working on for a couple of months, having both designed it digitally, ordered pieces for it, made an instruction and test built it, along with some reworks of different modules of the ship along the way. And with that said, of course, instructions will be available, linked in my rubricable in the description down below. But let's get into the reason why I decided to build this. I wanted a dedicated troop transport for my Imperial task force that could handle a massive amount of troops. I already have my planet assault ship, the Dominant, to bring in vehicles and some troops. But when I wanted a pure complement of just troops arriving on the battlefield, I had to rely mostly on my 2nd Airborne Platoon, with vehicles such as the Imperial Dropship transport that I designed back in 2024. While this is a great vehicle, it can only carry 10 troopers sitting down, and that is definitely dwarfed by the capacity of the Sentinel class shuttle, which I will get into when we get into the interior of the vehicle. But a little size comparison, you can see how small the otherwise quite big dropship transport gets compared to the UCS Sentinel class shuttle. Well, let's remove the vehicle and get started on the exterior of this build. We'll start off here with the cockpit. That is, of course, inspired a lot by the Lambda class shuttle that I kind of started with wanting to build, but then I realized that the needs of my task force would be that of utility more than luxury. So the capacity of a Lambda was to be favored, and therefore I chose this design. We have some nice angles to it, with a lot of tiling going on to smoothen out the whole build. But then we also have some studs to give it some nice texture. And here you can see how the wings, or how the cockpit really gets its shape by some nice angles. We have a cockpit that uses a dark brown windshield, and that is actually the only piece I had to order specially for this MOC, since it is not produced or in LEGO's Pick a Brick feature. So I started off with just ordering what was available, and it was this trans clear piece, but I just thought it looked so much better using a dark brown tint, or trans dark brown piece. So if you want to just stick by Pick a Brick pieces, you could have the model built using the trans clear windshield, and that's how mine looked to begin with. But I just really liked the look of the more tinted windshield, so therefore I especially ordered a quite expensive piece of a Bricklink, which was this one. Well, underneath the cockpit we have some missile launch tubes, as well as 2 laser cannons in the front to defend the ship, one on each side of the kind of underbelly of the cockpit. Then we have the iconic ramp that can, of course, be folded down when you want to deploy your troopers. So you get a little bit of a sneak peek to the interior of the ship. But here we have it with the ramp folded down to deploy your troops. The sides of the ship are really smooth and has a nice angle that attaches it here at the corners and it's a really tile-off build for these pieces. Then here in the back we have the wing module with the two massive wings that are now in its landed position. Then we have those iconic engines with the light bluish tint to them. Let's see if I can give you those in a bit of a better light afterwards. Here's the whole smooth little wing module. We have the top of the build with a nice engine intake over here, as well as the main fin. It's very iconic for the both the Lambda and the Sentinel. And then the build looks pretty much the same on the other side as well. It is now displayed in its landed position. If you want to, we could close up the ramp and try to show you guys how it looks with the wings deployed. Since I'm holding the camera with one hand, this will be the best way for me to display its features to you. As you can see, the wings can fold down like this, and now you would have the Lambda in its the Sentinel in its flying position. So here is what it looks like when it's flying. We have the landing gear sticking out, and that is just for the structural integrity of the ship. It would look nicer if I was able to have the landing gear be retractable, but just for pure stability and how heavy this build is, the landing gear does not retract, but they are quite detailed and look very nice, especially when you have the ship in its landed position. So there we have it flying, and then we can just fold up the wings again. I guess I can show you some of the wing details as well. Just that it's a mix of stud and tile that runs out to these position lights on each end of the wings, as well as on the top fin over here. Let's fold that up and see if we can move the ship a little bit back into the safety of the table. The main fin here on top is a mixture between bricks and Technic pieces, being utilized in a similar manner to that of the UCS Lambda class shuttle. Well, I think we are done with the exterior. Let's get right into the interior of this build. We can start off with the removable cockpit roof, where we have the main cockpit. I'll just hand up some light for you guys. Here we have the cockpit that seats 4 minifigures. We have a lot of control panels. We even have a little hologram here with the controls, as well as the joystick for the main pilot. So you would need 2 pilots to pilot the ship, but you also have some passenger seats where we have Commander Kel Karras sitting here in the back, observing as the ship is moving. You have a natural way for your pilots to climb down into the troop compartment, which I will show you later on. But here you can see that a minifigure can stand on this little ramp that leads to a ladder down into the troop compartment. You could also, just to demonstrate it, fold up the engine intakes to see that you can have your trooper standing up here as well. Well, let's remove the main roof of the build. And the fin here on top is quite sturdy, so you can actually lift the whole roof section using your hands and grabbing onto the fin. Here we have my designed interior for the ship. We have a seating for 22 stormtroopers, which was what I required, since my platoons are usually consisting of 22 stormtroopers or less. So we have seating on this side. We have some cleared off space here in the middle, so you can walk out and get into the boarding ramp of the ship. And then we have another seating section here. The seats were, of course, heavily inspired by the UCS 8080, using the same blue accent color and a similar seating design. Mostly since it was the most cost-effective way to build this many seats without making an intricate design that required lots of pieces. So here you can have 22 stormtroopers sitting down and also having their blasters secured safely here next to them in the seats. So we've got a full platoon with some seats here, here, and then kind of an entrance to the seat rows. We have another seating arrangement here, and if you wanted to, you could also add seats here, but I decided to have this be a dedicated cargo area, since if you wanted to deploy a complement of troops, you would need some cargo and equipment brought with you to the battlefield. Here in the middle, I've just placed one of my little speeders. As you can see, if you want more troops standing up, I bet you could get up to 60 stormtroopers if you have them all standing up in the transport, which would probably not be recommended for a longer flight, but still, it's possible. Here we have some controls if you need to check on the engines. So that is attached to kind of the engine module, and if you have a technician, you can check that up there. Then I put some of my E-Web blasters here in the cargo hold, since I guess that would be cool. If you have a full complement of troops arriving, you might need to give them some primary firepower with some E-Webs. But then here we have this secured off little cargo area of the ship. So I just put some crates here, and those are actually in the instruction as well. These 3 side builds are not in the instructions, to let you guys know. But yeah, so here we can really fill a full troop need. And as I showed you earlier when we were on the cockpit, here we have a ladder that leads up to a little platform where you get into the cockpit. Like this. So I'm quite happy with how the interior turned out, and especially the utility it brings to my task force. And I guess we can show you what it looks like if you want to have someone scaling down the ramp as well, just how massive the ship really is. And then we can just safely remove the roof, or put the roof back on, I meant to say, like this. So here we have a massive Sentinel class shuttle for you to use in your Imperial army, or in a big MOC. I guess it will require quite a lot of base plates to have it in a MOC, but for a large scale MOC, this would be absolutely epic. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. Be sure to pick up the instructions if you're interested. It's a great way of supporting the channel. And do leave a like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe to stay tuned for some more videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.